right? You know, so again, we're gonna start. We have this straight ankle. I'm here. I have this pressure into his hip, but he manages to push the foot off the hip, right? He hops over. So I'm switching to this butterfly ashi. So the first thing we're changing is, because I already have the straight ankle grip, I could start looking for the heel, but a lot of times this is gonna happen when I get to this spot where it opens his knee up, and it's gonna be hard to finish a heel hook here anyway, but I already have a straight ankle grip. So I'm just gonna take this leg and I'm gonna throw it over his knee. I'm trying to put my thigh on top of his kneecap, right like this. And I go to my shoulder and I hip in and I finish here. This is a really tight straight ankle, right? His way out of this is to grab my knee, pull it to him, and shove his foot in and put the boot on. Shove this leg in.
Oh yeah, I remember this, right?
Right? So he's got to be able to put the boot back on to save the straight ankle, right? When he does that, he brings his hip to me. Now we're back in on this, right? Now he pushes that foot out. So push that one out. Right? So now I come up and I sit. When I sit here and I make this turn, I'm going to get a Kimura grip on his legs. If he's able to straighten his leg here, he has the potential that he could just wedge my hips and he could start shrimping back and getting his foot to the mat. So like wedge my hips with your hands, right? Now start shrimping backwards and get your foot to the mat, right? And he can get his knee line clear, right? If his knee is bent, he can't clear his leg. He can try to push me away all he wants, nothing happens. He has to push me to the side, and that's how we end up in our 411, right? And this knee is already nice and bent, so I'm already deep on this finish, right? When I go to finish any of these heel hooks, this is the perfect spot to show this. When I come under, I don't want my forearm parallel to his leg. I want it perpendicular, right? So when I come under, I'm dropping my elbow and turning my hand out like this. This is what locks his foot in place. Even without going under his heel, he can feel the pressure just from me doing this, right? And now I put my hand in place, right? I don't want to be like this. If he simply just turns his toes to the ceiling right now, his heel slips. If I'm like this, try to turn your toes to the ceiling, nothing happens, right? He's locked in, like he's done now, right? So he pulls that top leg out. I constantly keep control, right? And then I find my control again, right? And then there's my finish again. He pulls the leg to the other side. This is the other thing, right? When he pulls this leg across, when I go to shoot this one, I'm aiming for his hip, and then I'm driving it as I come up, right? Because I'm trying to get connection to his hip. His hip is here. My weight's all down here. So I got to bring my hips to his hips. So I'm not coming up and then trying to sit back, right? When I'm here, I'm just extending my leg and making this turn and staying low. So that now I'm right here and I'm already on top and it's already tight, right? Now I just bend his foot back and I find my control and I make that, perpendicular motion, and look how much torque is on his knee, right? Like he was already wanting to tap before I even started putting a little bit of pressure in, right? So play with those little things. So we'll do it one more time. Do this side, give that leg a break a second, right? So he pushes this off. First, I'm coming here. This leg is going over the knee, and I fold my shoulder, and we have the straight ankle. He pulls my knee to him. I catch his hip. Now I can go into my break here, get that arm perpendicular, right? He pushes my leg out, right? So I come up and I sit, Kimura grip, right? Now his only choice is to disconnect my hips from his, is to push me to the side, right? So now I'll land, and I'm in my 411. I get my bite, we get our break. He pulls that top leg out. I switch to my 50-50, kick it to the outside, get my heel exposure. I can come back in and finish, or I can finish on the outside. He pulls that leg across. This one shoots. I make this turn, I stay low, right? Pin his bottom leg. I'm already in, right? I can just finish right here, or I could fall back if I wanted to and finish there. Make sense?
Yeah.
Let's do it. 3, 2, 1. They can get out of these heel hooks is by straightening their leg, right? So initially we're killing that by going for a straight ankle, which is then forcing him to bend his leg and give us the heel hook. But we're gonna talk about other spots where they can potentially straighten that leg and what we're gonna do to counter that, right? And so we're just gonna add it into our flow. So I'm in my position, he pushes this off, he hops over, we're doing the same thing here. We're covering, we're hitting the straight ankle. He pulls the knee to him, he shoves his foot in, I drive into his hip to expose the heel, catch the heel hook, we get our finish. He pushes the leg out, right? I come up and sit. Before I can get the Kimura, he straightens his leg, right? Because he's thinking I can push. If he can get his foot back to the mat, he can sit up. So keep your leg straight, push my hips away, shrimp, and get his leg down. If he's here, this is bad news for me because now I'm about to get my back taken, right? So when he gets here and he straightens this leg, I'm spinning around the corner and I'm hooking this here. My head is going to his big toe and we're right like this. Now I'm just gonna grab his heel and we're gonna make this play right here. Right, this is the Mikey lock position, you know, so we're finishing this instead because he straightened his leg. His way out of this is to bend his knee. When he bends his knee, I just take it right to the mat and then I finish him here. Right, so it doesn't help him. He can pull my top leg out to separate just like he was doing before. I just make the switch and I still don't have to switch. He can pull my leg across just like he did before. I can make the switch, I can still finish. I never have to change the grip once I get to the Mikey lock. Right? So, so once I lock up that position, and if I get to the Mikey lock at any point, whether it's 411, 50-50, any of these, and he's able to straighten his leg, right? Instead of just twisting, all I'm gonna do is shoot my leg underneath and turn my hips down, and now it's a knee bar. That's crazy. Right, all I'm doing is lining my hips up. So if you've been in class when we did this, right, this is the same knee bar, right? You know, so I'm just constantly doing that. If we're in 50-50, right, and I get this and he straightens his leg, you know, then I'm just rolling it out, lining my hips up, and I get the knee bar. Right? Like it doesn't matter, like it's a knee bar or it's gonna be a heel hook. Either one with that control. If his knee's bent, it's a heel hook, I'm bridging him to the side of his knee. If his leg is straight, then I'm getting my hips on top and I'm finishing the knee bar. Right? For the moment I get to like that hip to hip and I sit up and he straightens his leg, I'm just scooping, right? So again, that's when I come up and I get to here. He straightens that leg instead of sitting here and potentially losing this position, right? I'm just gonna switch. This hand grabs the knee, this one shoots for the ankle, right? My head goes inside his big toe. I reach for his heel and I lock this up. Now it's just a matter of time before I get my finish. Once I get to here, I have complete control. It's gonna be, for him to escape, he has to peel my hands off of his leg. Yeah, which is gonna be really hard for him to reach. So far. Right? Does that make sense?
Yep.
Let's try it. 3, 2, 1.